Tune into the all-new Falcones Moon Township Ford Coaches Corner every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. The show is hosted by Mike Azadian and will feature a local coach each week. The show will be video live streamed on the Beaver County Radio Facebook page and YouTube channel. The Falcones Moon Township Ford Coaches Corner is being brought to you in part by the St. Barnabas Health System, the Fry Transportation Group, the Community College of Beaver County, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Vape and Roll With It, Carver Construction, and Beaver County Radio.
Hot coffee in the morning and Frank Sparks. Now you're in the fast lane. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and streaming live on beavercountyradio.com.
All right, it is 10:42 in Beaver County, and I figured since he's here already, let's get started because there's a lot to talk about with hunting season. Pennsylvania Game Warden Mike Yeck is with us this morning. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in today.
Hey, my pleasure.
This is the first time you've been in the new studio, huh?
The new one, yes.
Yeah, it's a lot different, huh?
Very nice.
So, let's talk a little bit about. I got questions, and people had already when they found out you were coming. Oh, I got questions here. I got questions there. So, but let's first off start out. What some of the changes this year in hunting season? Mm-hmm. Number one, the big one is Sunday hunting now.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what's going to happen, or is it going to be every Sunday, just certain Sundays?
So for this year, at least for this year, they gave us 13 Sundays. Legislator approved Game Commission to have authority over the Sunday hunting. Game Commission went forward with 13 Sundays for this season, beginning on, would have been back in September, actually September 14th, and then it'll continue to December 7th will be the last Sunday.
Okay.
So it'll pretty much entail all of archery season and the regular deer season.
Gotcha. Okay. So are there any changes like deer-wise for deer hunting or anything?
No real changes other than that's extra dates being added.
Okay.
And I mean, those Sundays also include, during the small game season, if a small game, species is open on Saturday and it's open on Monday, it'll also be open on Sunday.
Okay.
So it's not just for deer. It's all species included except for migratory birds.
And you're about 2-3 weeks out from small game starting at this point?
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
Yeah. So is archery in yet? Or?
Archery is in,
okay.
In Area 2B, which is part of Beaver County, most of Allegheny County. So we do have guys that are archery hunting already, and they're already taking advantage of the Sundays.
All right. So how, when it comes to how everything is separated out, where is there somewhere hunters can go to look to make sure that they're legally hunting where they're allowed to hunt?
As far as location-wise,
yeah.
I mean, pretty much anything out there that's public property. So your state parks, your game lands, your areas like that are for the most part open for public hunting. Game lands obviously open for public hunting. State parks, most of them are open for public hunting, certain areas. So in this area, say Raccoon State Park, for example, a lot of Raccoon State Park is open for hunting, but there are sections that are closed to hunting. There's more the more recreated uses, around campgrounds, stuff like that aren't. So they would need to check with the DCNR office and the state parks to see where exactly are open. Okay. Obviously, private lands are open. Now, I'll just step back again on the Sunday hunting thing, and when it relates to state parks are not going to be open for the additional Sundays this year.
Okay. Right.
They're gonna hold back on that for this year.
What about the game lands? Are they
game
open?
lands are open, are free for all. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a lot of game lands areas here in Beaver County?
Beaver County, we have 3. We have game lands in Independence Township. We have one in Ohioville, and we also have one that's South Beaver and Darlington Townships.
Okay.
So it's one game lands, but it's in 2 different municipalities.
Now, are they big areas or decent? Or?
Yeah, the one in South Beaver / Darlington, that's the biggest. It's about 2,800 acres.
Wow. That is pretty big. A couple weeks here when small game, what all comes in with small game? I know squirrel.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to actually break it down. I mean, when you're starting to look into the actual dates, so like statewide, squirrel comes in, or squirrel is in September 13th. Mm-hmm. But then you got your pheasant, your rabbit, your grouse. They all have kind of staggering dates on that. So you're if you're rabbit and your grouse, you're looking at an October 18th opening. For pheasant, it's going to be the October 25th opening. Okay. There's some junior hunt dates in there that are separate that come in a little bit before we as adults can hunt that. Gives those junior kids a little more opportunity.
No, I see somewhere there was a change to pheasants this year, to pheasant hunting, something with it.
Not that.
Okay, all right. I thought I saw something about pheasant. Maybe it was bag limits or something that was changing.
Bag limits. That's all stayed the same.
Okay.
The pheasant stamp is still required.
Okay. What about deer with bag limits this year? Is there any increased days or increased bag limits for deer?
Just the increased days are going to be the thing. You're still entitled to one buck. You still have to buy your doe license, your antlerless license to hunt antlerless deer, which for the most part, you can see the availability of those on our website. And you can buy those online. You can buy them in person at an issuing agent. A lot of them are sold out. This area, like the Area 2B area that I always refer to, it still has plenty. It's usually one of the last ones, if it ever sells out, to sell out.
Does everybody still go to the mountains?
Well, yeah, those sell fast.
That's what I used to do when I was a kid.
Those ones sell out pretty quick.
Yeah. So you're allowed to get one buck and one doe?
You can get multiple. You can hold up to 6 doe tags at one time.
Okay.
So with that, you fulfill one doe tag and you have 5. Now you can actually backfill that and go buy another one. Now you still have 6.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Like Area 2B is unlimited. You can have unlimited doe tags for 2B.
I remember back in the day when you either got a buck or a doe and you were done.
Right.
That was it.
Yep.
So that was back when I was in high school days. We have such a huge deer population. Is that why they allow so much? Because they're everywhere now.
Well, Area 2B, like you keep referring to, that's your highly residential area. So you think Allegheny County, but we also think like Center Township, Economy Borough, New Swickley Township. There's a large population of deer there, but there's also, it's suburbia.
Right.
So the deer numbers are huge. Just try to provide more opportunity for guys to harvest deer in those areas.
I live in town, believe it or not, and I live on Oak Hill in New Brighton, and there's deer like walking through our backyard all the time. I just laugh about it.
They're everywhere. They're adaptable.
So are they ever? You think they'll plan on like having additional hunts so they can like get that? I know like in Pittsburgh they've had some of the parks where they've had hunts and stuff like that to reduce the population.
We try to, like for the Pittsburgh areas, and Mount Lebanon was a big one a couple of years ago. We try to get those areas to open it up to public hunting first and foremost. Get the public hunters in there first and foremost. See what they can do with the deer numbers, and then if that's not taking care of the problem, then obviously you got to resort to something else, whether it's the township running some type of a hunt program, or even having the federal agencies come in and possibly do a call where they're actually taking some of the deer out.
That's pretty cool. So I did see that they're going to extend the rifle season a little bit this year into January, it looked like.
Well, that's the regular rifle season still runs, comes in Saturday after Thanksgiving and runs for those 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, basically. We do have a season comes in after Christmas. It's the late season. With that late season, that Area 2B again, you can harvest does, antlerless does, with a rifle in those areas.
When I was a kid growing up, after the first year, that was always our excuse to go to the mountains. We were going snowshoe rabbit hunting. We used to use that constantly. So, all right, let me see. What else is on the list? Okay, somebody did ask one of the questions that was asked, and you're welcome to call if you have a question. It's 724-774-1888 and 843-1888. But one of the questions that was asked was about coyote hunting, because we do have a ton of coyotes, and you need to have a license to hunt coyote.
So to hunt coyotes, you either have to have just a regular hunting license, the resident or non-resident hunting license, but you could also possess the fur taker's license. Either or are good for hunting coyotes. Coyote hunting is open pretty much 365 days of the year. Couple little kind of caveats with that is if you're going to be hunting coyotes during deer season, you need to have a legal, valid deer tag during deer season to hunt coyotes for some legal reasons to kind of keep the honest man honest, I guess.
Yeah, no poachers out there. Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, to hunt them, it's either the fur takers or the hunting license, either or.
Has there been like an uptick in the population of coyotes? Because it seems like we're out in the wilderness pretty much here, so we have a ton of them. Right. But has there been an uptake?
I wouldn't say an uptick in them. They're just very resourceful. They're kind of cyclical. They'll come into an area. If the habitat allows them the food, it's food based. So if they're in an area where there's food, they're going to reproduce. They're going to take advantage of that food source. Once it's depleted, kind of move on to the next area. But you'll see that in certain areas where you'll have a big boom of them because of whatever the small game population, the mice, whatever. Okay. Then once that's depleted, they're kind of moving on. But they're resourceful. They're very adaptive. I've seen coyotes in downtown Monaca one night. Just running down the main street at Monaca. And you can only imagine what their food source is in town, basically.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we had this discussion a couple weeks ago. All right, we had Mayor New Brighton in, and I figured once I knew you were coming in, I'm like, well, this is a good question to ask him. So Mike might know the answer to this, and you might not. raccoons.
Yes.
And animals like that are varmints that have caused problems, basically getting in your garbage and doing things like that. What are the regulations? Because somebody said you can trap them and go release them somewhere else, but what are the real regulations? What do you do about, because I got a coon at my house that's driving me bananas.
Right.
So how do I get rid of them?
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, the best solution is to trap them. I mean, that's the most controlled way to handle them. You know, set them in a box trap, one of the have-a-heart type box traps, trap them. You can relocate them. You can euthanize them in the trap, you know, whichever you decide. We can't force you to euthanize something if you're obviously don't have the capability or against that.
So that's the actual law of what you can do. So if I want to trap him and get him out of there,
we don't recommend relocating rabies vector species. You know, anything that's a rabies vector species, which is a raccoon. Raccoon is one. We don't recommend relocating, but then again, we can't say that you can't.
How do you? I got to think about how to put this politely. So what's a good way to euthanize them? I mean, is there somewhere you can take them to if you don't, like myself, I don't own any type of gun or anything?
There's very, very few approved methods, and one of the most humane, effective methods is a gunshot. Okay.
So find somebody. I got you. I had to 4:30. I'm looking. My camera's going off at 4:30 in the morning. I leave for work at 5. I'm going off 4:30 in the morning. I got a raccoon up on my deck this morning, and you can see he's just trying to fatten up for winter.
Right.
And they get into anything like
they do. They do. And like I said, you know, just like the coyotes, they're animals are in an area for two reasons: they reproduce or to eat. So the raccoons being in the backyard, there's something there they want. There's something they're taking advantage of. So whether it's the neighbor's got cat food out on the back porch, you know, you have scraps of whatever, garbage falling out of your cans, whatever. They're there for a reason. Right. You know, so normally we would just, first thing is eliminate those food sources.
It was my garbage cans, and I went and bought new ones and tied them all down and bungee corded them, but they still haven't, they're still hanging out. I'm like, geez, you guys are nuts. Time to get out of here. So.
And it's hard to get everybody on the street to kind of agree to a certain
and it's just been a very big conversation because of, like I said, we had the mayor in here, and there was people calling in asking because everywhere in town, it seems like in New Brighton Borough, people are having problems with the raccoons.
I've responded to several calls in New Brighton for raccoons.
So what do you do? I mean, what do you do at that point?
I mean, if it's a sick or injured raccoon, obviously at that point we're going to euthanize it and remove it. But if it's an issue like we've been talking about, it's a nuisance raccoon, then we're going to recommend you can either trap it yourself. We have a website out there. It's available. It's wildlifehelp.org, where you can go on there and you can find local resources for what we call NUCOs, nuisance wildlife control operators, basically pest control for wildlife. Okay. And you can pay these people, as a fee. And they'll come out and actually do the trapping, monitor the trapping, remove the animal, and they'll take care of it for you.
Okay. So for someone like myself that doesn't own a gun, that might be the route to go?
It's an option, yes.
Okay. And if someone doesn't have a gun and they trap it, are they able to call the Game Commission and they'll euthanize it? Or
we kind of have a saying, once you trap it, you own it.
Ah, okay. That's a good saying.
Yeah.
So I got you. All right. We're visiting this morning with Mike Yeck. He is the game warden here in Beaver County for the Pennsylvania Game Commission. We're going to take a short break. If you do have any questions for Mike, you are welcome to call at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. And we'll be right back with more right after this.
Spotlight on Seniors, every Sunday at 11 a.m. Host Valerie McKelvey will highlight what's important to the seniors of Beaver County. Spotlight on Seniors is brought to you by the Beaver County Office on Aging and BeaverCountyRadio.com.
Yankee Trader, Saturday mornings from 10 to noon.
Freedom United Federal Credit Union proudly presents Yankee Trader.
Yankee Trader, buy, sell, or trade.
Yankee Trader is presented by Freedom United Federal Credit Union and in part by Rochester Paving and Seal Coating.
Looking for something that's more than just a job? Then this good news is for you. PA Connected Communities helps people with intellectual disabilities and autism by using fun activities like cooking, pottery, and volunteerism to learn valuable skills. PACC is hiring for full-time and part-time in Beaver, Butler, and surrounding areas. When was the last time you got paid to go bowling, the movies, swimming, or doing a community service project? If you're looking for a great job where you can help others improve their life skills, gain independence, and participate in community activities, all while having fun and get paid nicely too, then visit PACC.org.
Everybody knows that credit unions are a better deal because they are nonprofit and member-owned institutions. But did you know that at Freedom United Federal Credit Union, we have over 150 sponsor groups and almost 7,000 members? This is Kaylin Smith, and I just discovered some of this myself. I'll bet you didn't know that all of our members receive an automatic $3,000 accidental death life insurance policy just for joining our family. It is true. You really can get something for nothing. Here's another fun fact. The Rochester office on Adams Street used to be home to the American Legion, and that's where all those fabled Legion dances took place. Whatever the reason, come see us today. Freedom United Federal Credit Union, where the interest is in you. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Your success is our success. We belong to you.
Raise a glass at the Beaver Area Chamber of Commerce's annual Wine Fest, Saturday, September 27 on 3rd Street in downtown Beaver. Enjoy an afternoon of exquisite wine tastings, delicious food pairings, and shopping with local stores and vendors. Pre-sale tickets cost $30, which includes wine tastings and a commemorative wine glass. A $75 pre-sale VIP package offers reserved seating, a private tasting from a premier winery, a charcuterie box, and live music. Day of admission is $35. Tickets are limited, so secure yours early. The first 1,000 guests get a complimentary wine bag. For tickets, visit eventbrite.com and search under Beaver Wine Fest.
Join a team that's been making a difference for over a century. St. Barnabas Health System is hiring full-time security officers for night shifts in Gibsonia and Valencia. Work 12-hour shifts from 8:30 p.m. to 8:30 a.m., plus every other weekend, and earn competitive pay starting at $17 an hour plus shift differential. Enjoy full benefits, flexible scheduling, and the satisfaction of helping keep residents safe in a respected and growing healthcare system. Take the next step in your career. Apply now at stbarnabashealthsystem.com/careers or call 724-444-JOBS.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
And we're back here on Beaver County Radio. We're visiting this morning with Mike Yeck. He is the Pennsylvania Game Warden here in our area in Beaver County. And Mike, you've been at this for quite some time now. How long have you been a Game Warden?
Going on 13 years now, full-time salary officer, but then I was a deputy for 13 years prior to that. So,
wow. What made you want to get into wildlife and being a game warden?
I always had a love for the outdoors. Always grew up, hunting with my granddad and my dad. My granddad was a police officer, police chief, so I kind of merged the two together. Had the love the outdoors and law enforcement, and kind of was like the perfect opportunity.
I bet you've seen some crazy things over your 13 years.
Yes, I have.
What's hunting-wise, what's one of the craziest things you can remember hunting-wise that you've seen over the years?
Just wildlife getting themselves in just crazy situations. Deer falling into cisterns and pulling, deer out of manholes and, construction sites. And it's usually it's wildlife related for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get too many stories about the people that I get involved with at times. But,
I'm sure there's many knuckleheads that are out there. I can think of stories growing up with kids, with guys, and we'd go hunting, and I'd be like, yeah, I won't be going hunting with this person any longer, because it was kind of a crazy situation. But it's amazing how smart yet stupid animals can be sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, as a deer just, running out in front of a semi-truck and gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
You would think, I see lights coming, I'm going to stop, but they don't.
They don't.
Yeah. Is there an uptick? It seems like I see more and more deer laying dead on the side of the roadways as well. Is there more of an uptick of that now?
Well, the population's high.
Yeah.
I mean, in this area at least, the population's high, so you're just going to have those conflicts are going to be there. And obviously, when we start here in the fall, when the rut comes around, the breeding season comes around, those bucks are going to be chasing does everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be looking for love, and they're not going to be paying attention to anything else, including cars. So we kind of judge when the rut is really kind of
right.
in and running here in the county by how many roadkills we're starting to see.
Wow. So, and that's typically what, here beginning of October, so that usually happens.
Yeah. It varies, but yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. I always thought it was because the hunters were in the woods stirring the population up.
You get some of that.
Yeah. And that's why you've seen more and more. But and typically fall seems but even in the summer this year, I saw a lot more deer, laying dead on the side of the road. And,
it's just the population right now is just very high.
Yeah. So and they don't do too much justice to your vehicle, these newer vehicles either.
No,
Back in the day with the chrome horn, you just kind of a little bit of damage.
Doesn't take much to add up.
No. So I'm sure you get a lot of calls for road kills on a consistent basis. Now, what do you do at that point? Is that up to you to go out and do that, or somebody else take care of that?
So it all depends on the location. So, in Beaver County at least, some areas do have contractors that'll pick up just about anywhere, the more residential areas. But here in Beaver County, PennDOT's responsible for anything within their right-of-way on a PennDOT road. But outside of that, if it's someplace in somebody's yard and it's off a PennDOT right away, they're not gonna go on somebody's property. Same thing with township roads. So that'll generally fall back to us or the landowner. The landowner can dispose of those also.
I was going to ask you, is this still the way it used to be? You said, with the trapping a raccoon, if I trap it, I own it. Well, is it that way with the deer still? If you hit a deer and you want it, it's yours?
Well, if you want it, yes, we can get you a permit for it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I knew in the past before, if you hit it and it was fresh enough, you could.
Yeah, we can issue a consumption permit. Okay. So if you wanted to salvage any of the meat from that to use, yes.
Does that happen too often? I mean, usually
it does happen. Okay. It does happen. In those cases, if it's an antlered deer, then they obviously can't keep the rack.
Right.
They have the option possibly to purchase it.
Okay.
It's case by case basis.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they do have the option of getting a permit for consumption.
All right, 724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888. If you have any questions for Mike, we're going to take a short break for news with Noah, and then we'll be back. And we're going to talk about EHD because that's one of the biggest topics that people seem to have, and we'll talk about that coming up. But here's Noah with news.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning. On this Wednesday, September 24th of 2025, we will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Tenaris held an event with many local dignitaries marking the successful completion of a new $85 million fume exhaust system at its steel mill in Coppell yesterday. The ribbon-cutting event welcomed U.S. Congressman Chris Deluzio, Pennsylvania State Senator Elder Vogel, and Guillermo Moreno, Tenaris U.S. President. The new baghouse system is the latest upgrade to the steel shop and part of the company's broader $140 million investment in the site since 2020 when Tenaris integrated the mill into its industrial system. A new piazza recently opened in Swickley around a courtyard with spaces fronted with glass that are designed for guests to both socialize and dine. The project for this new piazza got conceptualized more than 5 years ago, and the announcement for it came in 2022. Sam DiBattista, who is a longtime chef from the Pittsburgh area and the restaurateur of Vivo Kitchen in Swickley, led development for this new piazza. The two initial tenants of this new piazza are both located there in Swickley. They are Toragos, a Latin American restaurant, and Moonlit Burgers, a restaurant known for its smash burgers. Pennsylvania State Police in Newcastle report that 25-year-old Artem Agenai of Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania, was charged after causing a single-vehicle crash yesterday afternoon in Neshannock Township of Lawrence County. Agenai was driving on I-376 West and did not have control of his vehicle, which caused him to crash into an embankment on the right side of that road. Agenai had a suspected minor injury, even though he was wearing his seatbelt at the time of this crash, but he refused EMS. According to a release from the Pennsylvania Department of State, Pennsylvania Secretary of the Commonwealth Al Schmidt reminded Pennsylvanians yesterday that the deadline to register to vote in the November 4th municipal election is 4 weeks away, which is on October 20th, 2025. This is to make sure that every voter that is eligible in Pennsylvania can make their voices heard and that elections can be conducted both fairly and freely, which the Shapiro administration puts as top priorities for them. More information about this November 4th municipal election in Pennsylvania and how to get ready for it can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com. According to a release from the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue, Secretary of Revenue Pat Brown issued a warning yesterday about a phishing scam targeting Pennsylvanians. This scam involves text messages that are fraudulent that pretend to be officials from the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue, which tries to dupe recipients into sharing both financial and personal information that is sensitive. Some tips from the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue about this scam and more information on it can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com. And Jimmy Kimmel has returned to late-night TV after a suspension over comments about the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Yesterday, Kimmel said he never intended to make light of the tragedy and understood that his remarks to some seemed ill-timed or unclear. He criticized ABC affiliates for taking his show off the air, calling it un-American. Kimmel thanked supporters, including those who disagree with him, like Texas Senator Ted Cruz. ABC suspended Kimmel last Wednesday, but announced his return after discussions. The suspension came after criticism from FCC Chairman Brandon Carr and others. Kimmel's viewership was limited due to some affiliates not airing his show.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Mostly cloudy today with showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day and evening. We'll see highs of 72 and overnight lows around 60. Cloudy tomorrow with more rain and possible thunderstorms. Look for highs of 73 and lows around 57. And partly sunny on Friday with a slight chance of showers. Expect to see highs in the mid-70s and lows of 55. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Wednesday, September 24th of 2025, at 7 minutes after 11, we've got a temperature of 68 degrees here in Beaver County with some light rain out there as well. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Rush Hour is just getting started on Beaver County Radio. It's time for Driving in the Fast Lane with Frank Sparks. It's the show that talks about what's happening in the news, locally, regionally, and nationally. There will be guests, and Noah Haswell will have the news at the top and bottom of each hour. You're in the Fast Lane. And now, here is the host of the show, Frank Sparks.
Just after 11 o'clock, we're visiting this morning with Mike Yeck. He is Beaver County Game Warden for the Pennsylvania Game Commission. And, Mike, I noticed you're wearing a body camera.
Yeah.
You really have to wear a body camera because of knuckleheads, or is it because of wildlife?
I mean, a little bit of both.
Okay.
It's obviously an officer safety issue, but
Right.
It provides an unbiased opinion of what's happening a lot of times in interviews. But yes, I do occasionally use it if I know there's going to be some kind of an interesting wildlife case. I'll record that also.
Oh, I'm sure. Like I said, I'm sure you've seen many a crazy things in your days for sure. So one of the big topics, and you're welcome to call at 724-774-1888 or 843-1888 if you have a question. One of the big topics that's out there right now with a lot of the hunters is EHD. Mm-hmm. What exactly is EHD?
So EHD is epizootic hemorrhagic disease.
That's why I let you say
it. Thank you. It's a disease that's actually spread by biting midges, tiny little flies.
Okay.
And with that, it's a hemorrhagic disease. These deer basically start to bleed out. Their blood vessels become leaky. So once they're bit by one of these infected bugs, it's usually about average 7 to 10 days. If the deer, if it survives, it's going to be very weak. But most of the time, these deer are dying within 7 to 10 days. And you can imagine, like once a deer's bit, if another bug bites that deer and goes and bites another deer, it just spreads exponentially from there.
Now, is there a lot? Now I know locally here in Beaver County, we were talking earlier. Is there any cases here in the county at all?
So we have some suspected cases.
Okay.
The problem we're running into right now is if we do come across a deer that's a suspect deer, we need to get a viable sample from that deer pretty quick. Because as I said, it's a hemorrhagic disease. The deer are kind of bleeding out. Their blood vessels are leaky. The organs that we need to send for testing are breaking down as that deer is dying. And by the time we get to it, it's not viable. So we need to actually get to these deer. Ideally, it'd be a sick deer that we would put down ourselves, euthanize,
Gotcha.
put down, and sample that deer, or something within a couple hours. But with this kind of heat, things decompose fast. But I forgot where I was going with that.
What's it mean? Like if you do, for instance, if you see one and trying to get it tested, if you see one that is sick, then you need to make a phone call right away.
Yeah, if you see a deer just acting strange, so the deer progressively goes from being a healthy deer and being bitten by one of these midges to basically on the ground, it's breathing its last breath. But there's a lot of different steps in between that. The deer become, we call them zombie deer, basically. Not very reactive to people. There's no like fear. They're just kind of walking around in kind of like a daze more or less.
Wow.
We've had cases where we've had deer called into us, large bucks. And we get out of our trucks and we actually hold it by the antler and walk it off of the roadway, so that we can euthanize it off the roadway. It's a very bizarre, but it's a very quick acting disease.
Are the midges something that we could, I don't know, spray or pesticide or get rid of, or do we not want to get rid of them?
Well, there've been talk about that, but there's no specific, species specific type pesticide for it. It would be basically a broad spectrum type pesticide. So when you're killing off, the midges, you're killing off, obviously mosquitoes too, some of the other bad stuff, but there's also worry about honeybees and some of the other beneficial insects and bugs that are out there.
True.
It's just nothing target specific.
But we were just talking about the population being high of deer anyways, so I mean, really, this is one of Mother Nature's ways of controlling the population. So
a lot of people say that. So here in Beaver County, we've basically seen this over the last couple decades. I would say we've been seeing this outbreak or an outbreak of EHD about every 5 years. So the population will start building up. By year 5, we would have a large outbreak. And the last big one we had was in 2017.
Okay.
And in that one, there were literally thousands of deer, dying from this
You want to throw your headphones on there?
Yeah.
All right. Jump out to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on Beaver County Radio. Hey, Charlie. What's happening, brother? Well, hell, my first thought was when I said, because I don't own a gun, my first thought was I'm going to call Charlie and have him come over and shoot it for me.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that, yes. Sure.
Absolutely. Or...
Well... I mean, I guess you're kind of correct in that because it used to be, you had to kill it. And you run into the issue where if it's somebody that's in downtown and they're surrounded by concrete and asphalt, we really don't want somebody euthanizing, discharging a firearm in those locations just for safety reasons. But then we also run into people that either don't own firearms, so now they're stuck with a raccoon in a crate, or just, for ethical reasons, they do not want to take another life. So we can't force those people to take those. I mean, obviously, just like you said, we don't want to take one problem to another location. So we do recommend that it is euthanized instead of relocated, especially the raccoons. Pretty much, yeah.
All right, Charlie. My thought was actually, I live by a cemetery, take it up and relocate it in the cemetery, but I'm close enough it'll probably just come back.
More than likely.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But all right, so talking about EHD, is it harmful to humans?
So the Game Commission stance is we're obviously not a health organization.
Right.
So we can't say yes or no on that.
Okay.
Obviously if meat's prepared properly, we recommend preparing it properly, bringing meat up to the temperature, stuff like that. The thing with the EHD, because it's such a fast-acting disease, like I said, 7 to 10 days, these deer are dying. Most hunters are going to recognize that there's an issue with this deer before harvesting it. It's just, a deer's just standing there. It's acting very strange. It's not spooking and running away from them. Or it's just acting just walking around in circles. You're not, as a hunter, going to shoot that deer. So the chances of actually harvesting one of these deer, I don't want to say it's non-existent.
Right.
It does happen, but as far as eating it, we're not going to step out and say yes or no on that.
Okay. So for our location here in Beaver County, what's the closest location one's been spotted so far? I thought I saw Lawrence County.
So Lawrence County, I think the last I checked, the confirmed areas were Lawrence, Butler, Mercer, and Erie counties.
Okay.
I think all had confirmed cases. And then if you look across the state line to Ohio's running pretty high numbers right now in EHD cases.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that's crossed over West Virginia. And like I said, there are some here. obviously confirmed around us, and we have some suspects here. Just have not got a good sample yet.
All right, you want to put your headphones back on?
Sure.
All right. Good morning. You're on Beaver County Radio.
Good morning. Yeah, we recommend like double bagging it. Put in a garbage bag, double bag it, and you can just put it out with the residential trash. You can. It's called a midge fly, so it's a real tiny fly, kind of like gnat-sized fly. Generally, their life cycle they're from muddy areas, and these deer. No, it's species specific, so it's only going to affect cervids, so hoofed animals. No, wouldn't affect us as humans. You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye. 724-774-1888 and 843-1888. We're visiting with Mike Yeck. He is the Beaver County Game Warden here for Pennsylvania. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more. You're welcome to call with any questions you might have.
Something that's more than just a job? Then this good news is for you. PA Connected Communities helps people with intellectual disabilities and autism by using fun activities like cooking, pottery, and volunteerism to learn valuable skills. PACC is hiring for full-time and part-time in Beaver, Butler, and surrounding areas. When was the last time you got paid to go bowling, the movies, swimming, or doing a community service project? If you're looking for a great job where you can help others improve their life skills, gain independence, and participate in community activities, all while having fun and get paid nicely too, then visit pacc.org.
Patriot Home Care is now hiring caregivers. Are you a caring and compassionate individual looking for a reliable income with benefits? Then call Patriot Home Care today. Benefits include health insurance, life insurance, paid vacation after 1 year, and 1.5 times hourly pay for overtime plus holiday hours. Patriot Home Care employees provide personal care, conversation and companionship, medication reminders, light housekeeping and laundry, meal preparation, and errands. Start your career in home care today and call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or apply online at patriothomecare.org.
Looking for a great job opportunity? McDonald's now has full-time and part-time positions available to fit your lifestyle and needs. Set your own hours and have a lot of fun too. Whatever the situation is, McDonald's has a place for you. Apply today at McHire.com. McDonald's is here for you. I'm loving it.
In these unprecedented times, staying informed with accurate information is a necessity, especially in an emergency. Believe it or not, the power to stay informed and be aware on important news alerts in your area is right at your fingertips. Beaver County Emergency Services urges you to sign up for instant mobile message alerts today. It's quick and easy, and once you enroll, Amber Alerts, weather emergencies, and many valuable safety, warning, and important news bulletin updates will arrive as text messages in your cell phone. Sign up now by visiting beavercountypa.gov. It's free, and it could be a lifesaver for you or somebody else in trouble. Put your fingertips to work and turn your phone into an instant notification alert device. Beaver County Emergency Services, along with other partner organizations, is pleased to make instant notifications available to you. So sign up today.
It's time to wake up, Beaver Valley, with Pastor David Grove from the Church of the Redeemed of Beaver Valley. Tune in to Beaver County Radio this and every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. It's time to wake up and turn our hearts back to Jesus Christ. So wake up early this Saturday and tune in to Wake Up Beaver Valley from 9 until 10 a.m. right here on Beaver County Radio.
Weekday mornings were meant to drive in the fast lane. It's Frank Sparks on Beaver County Radio.
We're back here on Driving in the Fast Lane, and let's jump right back out to the phone lines again. Good morning, you're on Beaver County Radio. Good morning, you're on. Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead. He's listening to you. Ask your question.
I'm here.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A good chance, yeah. I mean, you can. Well, I'm not going to really recommend taking stuff out that's not necessarily sick or injured in beaver falls. I mean, you can trap them. I mean, I know a lot of people that do trap them. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Same thing we're talking about the raccoons. You can relocate them. Generally when you trap a skunk or something in a trap like that, what I always tell people to do is take like an old towel, an old, a shipping towel or a moving towel or a blanket, one of those heavy blankets, hold it up in the air, separate yourself from the trap that the skunk's in and kind of walk up to it and then toss that over top of the trap. So now that skunk's, yeah, exactly. So it can't see you coming. Yeah. I've been there, yes. Well, I probably know him, but I probably don't know him by rat. I'm sure I do. Stump the game warden.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Now we got a rarity. I think it's a rarity in my neighborhood. We have an albino skunk.
I've seen them. They're very rare, like you said.
Yeah, it's a big old juicy one too, and I'm like, but it's weird because all you see is white just strolling through the neighborhood, Right. So.
Yeah, the neat thing about those is like I've seen litters of skunks, and you have 4 or 5 little ones running around, and they're all from the same litter, but they're all different colorations. Mostly black, 1 white stripe, 2 white stripe, all white, or spots on them. I mean, it's pretty neat. There's no rhyme or reason.
They're nice, but they're a pain in the rear end.
Yeah,
that's a bad thing. So, all right, 724-774-1888, 843-1888 if you have any questions for Mike. So we were talking about EHD some, and is there an area like if you do? I noticed in the past I seen they had that look like a clothing dumpster basically that you could take the animal head and get it tested.
So that was for CWD, the chronic wasting disease.
Okay.
And that's set up inside our disease management areas where we know that there's been cases of CWD in the wild.
Okay. Yeah, because like you said, if you did the EHD, you got to get to it quick, so that wouldn't even be able to tell you anything at that point, right? Okay. So typically, how long do you need to get to it? You have to get to it
for EHD.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to depend on the temperature, obviously. But if we're looking at like these days we've had where high 70s, 80 degrees, I mean that the tissue breaks down fast. So we need to get to it within a couple hours max.
Okay.
Get that sample. I mean, we've all seen the deer on the side of the road that have been laying there for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants to cut into one of those.
Nobody wants to cut into it. They're usually pretty prime.
Right.
So is there? You brought up CWD. Are there still cases of that going around?
There are cases going around, and that's a fluid. It's very fluid and constantly changing where it's located. As of right now, there's nothing in Beaver County. There's nothing. I think the closest right now we have would possibly be Indiana or Westmoreland County area. But those areas where there have been positives, they have set up disease management areas, and that information is on our website. So that'll show the most recent mapping of where these disease areas are. And those disease areas, they have their own regulations within them. And like you said, the dumpsters, the clothing type dumpsters, where a hunter can drop off a head from a deer, have it tested before they consume that deer meat. That way they know if it was either CWD positive or negative, and they can feel safe eating that deer.
And CWD is not good.
No, CWD is not good. That's a pretty nasty. It's a wasting disease. So it's kind of a long term with these deer. They're basically going to starve and waste away.
Oh wow,
it's rough.
And is there like an effect to humans if they consume it, or
as of right now, it has not crossed that species barrier.
Gotcha.
But if you wanted to compare it to anything that humans have been bothered with or come down with. It's similar to mad cow disease, which they had the outbreak out in Europe several years ago. Was it the Crutchfield-Jacobson disease, I believe, in humans? So something similar to that.
Okay.
But as of right now, the chronic wasting disease has not crossed over.
That's good. So basically here in Beaver County, at this point, our deer population is pretty safe.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. So, all right, when's hunting season gets started for antler and antlers?
What's that? When?
Yeah.
So first Saturday after Thanksgiving is when, well, I mean, other than archery season right now.
Yeah. It takes away the fun. Remember when we were in school growing up, Monday was
the Monday day off.
Yeah, you got Monday off for hunting.
And sadly, I'm seeing some of that tradition disappear with some school districts and sending the kids back to school on Mondays. But some of them are still taking that day off as a holiday. But as far as like the dates we have right now, like the statewide archery season comes in on October 4th.
Okay.
But right now, like I said, we have the 2B, we should say the 2B season that came back in last weekend for archery. So then we got the after Christmas flintlock season, extended seasons. Yeah.
Lots of deer hunting going on. I actually got to get back into it because I miss doing it after all these years. And you have kids and you get out of it, and none of them were interested.
Or you have a job that keeps you busy during deer season.
This is true. That's true. So when it comes to being a game warden, so it's actually it's more prevalent now that people think because we're going into hunting season and things like that. But it's actually a year-round job.
It's a year-round job, yeah. And we kind of laugh. People always say, well, it's your slow time of the year. It's your slow season. I've yet to find that slow season in my years doing this. It just goes from one thing to the next. So obviously we have our times of the year where it's no hunting season, so we try to get our trainings and our certifications and stuff all caught up that time of year. But we're also doing a lot of information education programs, stuff with churches and schools, and we do our hunter education classes for future hunters.
I was going to ask if they still have the hunter safety course like they used to. Okay. Because I know you used to get like a patch and then the stamp on your things. And everything.
Now you actually get like a plastic credit card with that doesn't fall apart in the washing machine.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember those. And I had that card for a long time. So I remember at one point there was, if I'm not mistaken, there was a point in time where if you took the course, you could start hunting like a little bit earlier than what you normally could normal age-wise. I think it was like when I was 14 or 15 or something, I was allowed to get my license because I did the hunter safety course instead of having to wait another year.
I couldn't tell you back then.
I was back in the 80s, so I'm probably a little bit older than you. So
yeah.
So it was at like late 70s, early 80s, maybe.
Yeah, it was definitely before my time.
So, all right. If somebody does see a deer that's sick or something's wrong like that, how do they go about reporting it?
So we have central dispatch now. So we have a central 1-800 number that people can call. It's 1-833-PGC-HUNT.
All right.
Pretty simple. And that goes to Harrisburg, which we're dispatched out of central Harrisburg now. And you tell them where you're at, where your location's at. They'll figure out which officer's in charge of that area, or which officer they need to send to that area. And no matter what it is, we'll try to address it.
All right. If anybody has any other questions or anything they need answers to, call that same number.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you can think of, or?
No.
All right.
I can think of.
Well, appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to come spend an hour with us and talk a little bit about what's going on hunting-wise. And I'm sure you eased a lot of people's minds, and you answered a big question for all of us about the raccoons, because that's been and I didn't even think about it, like I said, until you came in. And so that answered a big question for everybody about the coons. So I know one that's going to be disappearing in the next day or two. So thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, coming up next, Noah Haswell has news here on Beaver County Radio.
Own a company or a small business?